Miguel Iturrate here on the MMA Museum podcast, and we are back with one of our deep dive interviews. This time, we've got a little bit of a different twist. I've got Todd Atkins, my partner and sidekick here, as is becoming more and more frequent, and that's all good. I'm very happy about that. But this time, we don't have an MMA fighter with a Sherdog record or a career. We have an MMA insider, a guy who has spent his whole career working with fighters. I met him when he was the strength and conditioning coach for American Top Team,
Mm.
which was
Early, even early.
yeah, the early MMA.
Early,
Not
yes.
This was the beginnings of MMA with the American Top Team. Now they're a corporation kind of thing, but Andrei Benkei was there when American Top Team was kind of developing. Still in the very beginning, they already kind of from the very beginning had the best fighters in the world and stuff, but they weren't a well-oiled machine yet. And one of the reasons I think that they are where they are today is because they had guys like Benkei making the foundation. Laborio making the foundation. You stand on the shoulders of giants, as I said last podcast. So, Benkei, how are you, man? It's been a long time.
Man, long time. But you mentioned American Top Team, but we met before American Top Team when I was in Universal Atlético. The underground photo we are talking about bringing my fighters from. Actually, they are former Carson Grace team. The Carson led the team with me and go to Chicago, and after he broke up with the original team to became a Brazilian Top Team, and the rest of the kids stay with me, and I trained them in Universal Atlético.
I
Look,
got you.
and then when I moved to American Top Team, I led them to the Brazilian Top Team. We talk about Milton Vieira, Buscapé, Paulo Filho, all of those. Many
Arona.
of them, like Jucão, and all of them went to Brazilian Top Team. They stay in Brazilian Top Team.
Now, let me ask you a question. So you're friends with Marcelo Tatel?
Yes, of course.
So that's the old guys from America, Brazilian Top Team and the
Yeah,
Carlson
yes.
Gracie team. The first time I booked the Carlson
Bebel,
Gracie guy,
Marcelo, all people from Brazilian Top Team are friends.
the
Murilo is a special. Murilo and Bebel is special because they're guys that have more close relationship. They are great guys.
yeah, I just interviewed Murillo recently, and
Oh, nice.
I remember Bebel Duarte. What's his first
Bebel
name?
Duarte, yes,
Bebel
yes, yes.
Duarte. So yes,
Bebel
I remember
Duarte.
him competing in Abu Dhabi, and he's not like a big MMA guy, but he was one of the guys, training with
Yeah,
everybody every day
he,
and stuff.
he's the trainer. No, he was the one that the Brazilian Top Team started to grows up. Bebel few more time on training them fighters than be a fighter. He helps
Yeah.
all of the other ones.
You could
He
tell
is,
when a guy is a coach from the mind, you know what
yeah,
I mean?
he's a coach. He's a coach. Bebel was a coach of them.
Now, let me ask you, the first time I booked a Carlson Gracie guy he came to Indiana, Evansville, Indiana to fight. And
Yeah,
this was Carlos Barreto. We had
yeah,
Carlos Barreto
Carlão,
come to
Carlão,
he
yes.
came to fight Ian Freeman. And he lost the
Oh,
fight, but Ian Freeman went to the UFC, and Ian Freeman beat Frank Mir. So
yes, yes.
this was one of the first big fights of my life, and I give those guys a ton of respect because they trusted me. You know what I mean? I'm glad to have met Carlson too.
The Carlson.
Carl, Carlson Senior.
Carlson is the reason I'm here now. He make me be crazy about that sport, and I never gonna leave.
Yeah.
I try, but it's impossible. My heart's still here. Impossible I leave.
Now I did a little research. You went to the university for conditioning and fitness. And this was
Yes,
your
yes, yes,
position. Talk about
yes.
the start.
Let's start like that. I'm original from karate, kyokushin, judo, and luta livre, and I was studying because at that time I had no money on the business, no money. Then I must study and went to the physical education. I was pretty successful. My gym was big in Brazil at that time, and I worked with the Cybex, or the beginning of Cybex. I was the first specialist of Cybex for South America. I was one of those worldwide specialists in training those machines, and I make some research with the special. My gym was my gym for that time. We talk about 30 years ago, and the gym is already ahead of his time. People started talking about what we did there right now. It's like we have doctors, sports doctors in the gym. We have analyzing the movement. We took pictures. Was one of the first gyms to take pictures, to analyze posture, to training, not just fighters but all kind of sports at that time. And I approached Carso because my master, Kyokushinkai Karate master, Japanese, and he's very good on kicks. And Carso asked friends to bring him there to his gym, and I went with him. And after that, Carso said, "Hey, can you help the guys with conditioning?" I said, "Okay." And after that, bro, I never stopped it. I made a team, and when he left to Chicago, I kept the team there. I organized the team. My gym was the first one to put luta livre and jiu-jitsu to train together. Before, this never happened. Was a war between luta livre and jiu-jitsu at that time. And my gym was the first one to put them together. Universal Atlético, they train together because we have a wrestling training. Actually, I'm the first one to put schedule for training. Before my training, before my time, people training, all over. It's a mess. And I put the schedule. I put, okay, you guys training today kickboxing, wrestling, grappling on the schedule of the week, and I got balance on that. I was the first one to make it. And in Brazil, nobody training wrestling before. I brought a guy from wrestling national team to train them on 2 days a week, and all guys coming from Luta Livre and from Jiu-Jitsu, they come and start to train together. And because that, today we have Anaconda. Because was the Milton Vieira was looking in the role of 2 points of the wrestling. He learns that movement. He say, I can submit using this. And the other guys from Jiu-Jitsu start to create the different ways to get inside of the situation. Okay, we can go for that way, for that way, for that way. And from that, the union between wrestling, luta livre, and jiu-jitsu, they create the Anaconda choke.
Yeah, I
Amazing,
remember.
no?
Yes, no, I remember. I did a fight in Brazil with Milton Vieira in MMA,
Uh-huh.
and I remember that even he was a young boy, but that he was the
Yes.
creator of that choke.
He was the great. After I'm left, I put them in Brazilian top team. I talked to Bebel and I put them in Brazilian top team. And Milton teach the Nogueira's brother, the Minotauro. He trained Minotauro, and Minotauro teach Minotauro. And Minotauro go to Japan and submit the guy. Boom! Everybody start to know.
For sure.
But
Now
Milton,
because Milton is kind of a later generation. I want to go back further because the first guys, and obviously, Vale Tudo in Brazil was already, the guys were ready to fight, in the early days, but they had no wrestling, like you said. And there are
no.
two names I want to run by you. One is Daryl Golar. Do you remember Daryl Golar?
Yeah, Daryl Gola is coming right after.
Okay.
Daryl Gola went to Brazilian top team because we are making the training there with this young kid, and then Daryl Gola come to Brazil to train Brazilian top team, and Brazilian top team stabilized the wrestling training over there too with Daryl Gola.
And when you started to bring the Luta Livre guys, then you get Beto Leitao.
Yes.
Who's also a genius.
Genius, yes, genius.
For sure. So talk about getting Beto to work with the jiu-jitsu guys and vice versa, because I forget what was the name of the he was a Lebanese guy living in Brazil, big guy who also did Abu Dhabi.
Yes,
Antoine Jaoud.
Antoine, the family, Antoine family. They all of them are traditional wrestling. Yes, and they went to training not jiu-jitsu. They train luta livre.
Yeah,
They influenced a lot luta livre.
Now, how did you get them to work together?
the how they start to working together.
Yeah, with you,
It is because look, like you said, before was very separate. Wrestling and grappling. And Beto Leitão was the first one to start to 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 train in real wrestling of the Leitão family, train in real wrestling and start to stabilize the connection between wrestling and luta livre, because luta livre is a part of wrestling of people in Europe forgot, and we keep alive the submission. Same as happened with the judo and BJJ. BJJ is the part of judo, the judo forgot that we keep alive in Brazil. Same. The same origin is like that. And Beto Leitão and Antoine, they come. This is after that time I'm told you. They come in and start to training, getting better in wrestling, and actually Beto Leitão comes from the family of the luta livre. Then he start to get better in wrestling, and he went to the federation, and he travel all over the world to learn wrestling in deeper level, and he brought back to Brazil. Beto was one of those great responsible for that. And Antoine's family coming there, and Antoine started training both martial arts. Like he loves, the family is traditional in wrestling. Then he started training luta livre.
yeah, yeah. And Antoine is a genius too. He's a guy
Oh, jeez,
who speaks five
monster.
languages.
Yes, he's a monster. Yeah, super intelligent guy. Yeah, the people from their area, they speak a lot of language. Wally, who work with me, he's a Moroccan guy. He speaks like, I know, 10 languages or something like that.
Crazy,
Crazy.
crazy. So tell me, uh, let's skip ahead because I know that you've returned to Florida now. Let's talk about what you're
Yes,
doing right
after
now, and then
12
we'll go
years.
back.
Oh my God.
After 12 years, you're in Florida. What are you trying to set
Absolutely.
up? What are you trying to do? Where are you based?
Right now, I'm in Tampa Bay. I usually to live the other side of Florida in East Coast. Now in West Coast, in Tampa Bay area. I mean, I'm gonna start to work with the UFC gym Largo. Actually, it's gonna be 5 UFC gyms here. I'm gonna work. The first one is start right in September. UFC gym Largo. They are big gyms, nice gyms. But the owner, Mr. Ozivet, I believe was the first owner of the franchise who understand what these three letters means, UFC, because the corporation was original from people from crush from fitness. They create a nice training system, a nice for the regular people. It's really nice, but for the fight world, for really learn fight or understand the fight world, they didn't understand yet. But my boss got it this very well. He brought all the real people from the game and start to hiring real coach, hiring great coach for jiu-jitsu, hiring great coach for Muay Thai, and he wants me to organize and develop the system to MMA over here as a head coach. And he just make a real UFC gym, like say like that. And he right now he's broken all the records on selling pre-sales, and this has never happened before. He's selling more. He's selling more special package, like the prime package of the franchise, more than anyone before, because people see values, no? People see what they are paying for, and I believe after we open, it's going to be more, because he's going to revolutionize the system, because the UFC gyms, they are nice, they have everything, they have all equipments, but sometimes like the quality of the coach. The coach need to be qualified, especially for a fight world. The fight part, the fitness are very good, but the fight must be more qualified. And he brought the quality for the area.
So
Now
who are
we
the
have a
coach? Who are
great
the coaches
jiu-jitsu
you're working
programs.
with? Who
How?
are the coaches?
Who the coach? We're gonna. Oh my God! Look, we're gonna have for striking one legendary Muay Thai and MMA fighter, and Dorian Price. This is he's here right with me. Dorian is amazing. Dorian is something special. And the first time he's gonna work in a team, because before he was working side, he just going to some parts of the game. He was people don't know, he was the original coach and trainer for Matt Brown, you know, and
Yeah.
now he's here to make it. I have a good relationship with Pedro Diaz. He's gonna help me with the boxing, Cuban boxing guys, with the pads. We're gonna send the guys for learning with the pads with him, and then coming here with that level, you know, best Cuban boxing coach ever. We're gonna have Nicky Furcat. Nicky Furcat is. We just have a nice meeting today. He's amazing. He's a Division One wrestling national team. You know, he was 6 years with Stream Culture as a wrestling coach, and now he's here with us. Is amazing guy. Amazing guy. It's the highest level in wrestling. BJJ, we have like BJJ, we have like a bunch of things. It's amazing. We have all guys coming from the like say American Jiu-Jitsu, American Jiu-Jitsu, and we're gonna have them. Coach Adam is gonna control the Jiu-Jitsu over here, and also we're gonna bring Luta Livre from Alexandre Pequeno. He's represented for the first time in America. We're gonna have a real Luta Livre school open and start to teaching pure Luta Livre and UFC gym.
Alexandre Pequeño, the 5-finger choke.
Yes. He comes for the first. He comes for the seminars and make the seminar to open. This is gonna be a UFC gym, Pinellas Park. It's UFC St. Pete, but they say Pinellas Park, and it's gonna open January. It's second gym is gonna open January. The first is gonna open February. This one is gonna open January, and
Yes.
man, this is gonna be really something special.
Now, for those, this is Alexandre Pequeño, is Alexandre Nogueira, who was the #1 guy with Shudo for a long time.
For a long time,
Back,
7 years straight.
back, when these lightweights only fought in Shudo at 145 pounds. He was the best in the world. And
Yes.
no one could really argue that's that real pedigree. Now, let me ask you. You said, let's go back. You said that first in Brazil was a war. The luta livre versus
Yes. A war.
jiu-jitsu, and then shooter box was another group and
Yes.
stuff.
Everybody hates each other. I'm very lucky because I'm a friend of all of them.
Yeah, and
I'm a friend all over there. I'm very lucky. I have free pass for all those gyms, no? And like shoot box, the shoot box team has the same manager I have in Japan, Kawasaki. Kawasaki is the same, and every time I was in Japan, Kawasaki put me together with the shoot box. I'm a very lucky guy. I saw Shogun fight for the first time together with Ninja, his brother, together. And he said, Ninja told me like that, "Hey Benkei, this is my brother. He's gonna be champion of the world. You see." Man, he was very high, right? No?
Yeah,
You got 2
absolutely.
belts. You got pride in UFC.
And that's what I was going to ask you. I think Japan was very responsible for the Brazilians becoming more united, because you can fight in Brazil and stuff, but you can't go and fight in hotels in
Yes.
Japan and be unprofessional. So everybody had to take it to a new level. Is that an accurate
Yeah.
thing?
Look, step by step. In the beginning was hard. In the beginning, man, between shoot box and Brazilian top team, they are big rivals. They hate each other and they fight outside. If they happen, man, many times almost happened. was very difficult. But of course, time passed. The new generation comes. They don't have this kind of bad blood, and they start to be more close. And I believe I helped you because I was always in both sides, and people talk to me, talk to them, and in the end, everybody like each other. American Top Team too. American Top Team also became like a space of everybody, respect and at the same time have friendship. And this is bad blood coming and disappear.
I know that Carlson had a breakup with the Brazilian top team guys like Mario and Murillo.
Yes.
But Carlson also was a good visionary because when he went to Chicago, I remember Carlson saying, I have a new guy, Miguel Torres. And
Yeah,
Miguel
yeah.
Torres was one of the guys that also jumped, to the highest levels. Um, so Carlson had the vision of, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu being worldwide, not just Brazilian.
Look, Carson is the best MMA coach I ever see in my life. He is the guy with more knowledge, more understanding of the game. Nobody has not even close of him. He's a man. He's just unbelievable. He has a gift. He has
Now,
the gift.
but
He see the game of no like the way nobody can see. That's the couldn't see. And really, he's for me it's a legend. It's people say something about Castle must be first thing first thing a big respect.
yes,
He's really unbelievable.
yeah. Now,
Look his legacy. A Brazilian top team is pure Carson Grace.
yeah,
Is his
Liborio,
legacy.
Sperry,
The Boris
everybody,
Perry,
Murillo,
Murilo, they,
yeah, for
Arona,
sure.
they all Paulão, Paulo Filho, they all Carson, no? And man, Carson was just Valide.
Yeah.
They
Now
are all
let me
Carson.
ask you. I don't want to. I agree with you completely. And I met him a few times. He spoke a little Spanish. I speak Spanish, so we were able to talk very well. And I was young and nothing, and he was even respectful to me, very nice and kind, helpful. So I love him also. I have a great memory of him. But I recently interviewed Murilo Bustamante, and Murillo seemed a little hurt. Like they could never fix the problem between them. What do you think
Yeah.
happened there?
Look. Both sides have a
Ego?
yeah. No, not ego only. Look, Carson. It's about money, about the money that about the discussion about money. Everybody push a little bit more because everybody wants to have a little bit more. But I think Carson asked too much for them. This is true. He asked too much. But at the same time, Carson was the master.
Yeah.
Carson was the master. Let him without nothing. I don't agree.
Yeah.
I
No, I
believe
think
I believe I believe someone couldn't step up, and make good terms for everybody to people don't broke up that way because it was a great family.
yeah.
Was
No,
a was a warrior family. I believe never gonna happen again. They are amazing. The team is amazing,
I
and
think you said it that both sides have a point.
yes, both sides have a point,
And
and
and there
they
was
can
not
they
enough
can
money in
they
the
can get
sport.
on terms. They can go on terms, and get everybody fine on that. I wish I couldn't help something because by that time I was out of them, and because I always try to make people see the other side.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and they're so great team, bro. What Carson did, and he like I told you, he was a great master. He
Yeah.
was a
No,
great master.
I got a chance to see Sperry compete in Abu Dhabi.
Yes,
I was at Murilo Bustamante's fight with Mene when he won the first UFC
yes.
belt. So
Now Murilo, man,
his work is
I
a
personally,
legacy.
I'm a big fan of Murilo. For me, Murilo was the most technical fighter I ever see fight. About technique and MMA, he's for me is the best. I never seen nobody with the pure technique like him. He's
The
a
only
he's a
problem with Murillo, he doesn't smile much.
But when you know him, yes,
Yeah, I got him to
me and
smile in the
Murilo, it's
interview.
funny. We have a very good relationship. We don't agree about certain terms of physically training and stuff, certain part of the game, but he respecting my point, and I respect him a lot. Murilo, all those guys, I am proud to be friend.
Yeah, no,
I'm
me
proud
too.
to be
I
friend.
was so glad when he remembered me. We did the interview, and it was like connecting with a friend. He was very good. What's amazing is I met him when he spoke no English, and
Oh,
now
really?
his English is fantastic. You know,
Yeah, no, he
he's
has great
really good.
English.
He's a brilliant man in every aspect. So, talk about you coming to American Top Team. But what obviously, I think Liborio helped bring you over. Is that what happened in the early days?
No, actually, it was like that. It was I had my, like I told you, I had my gym, and MMA for me at that time is just like my passion. I put the money on. I didn't get money for that. I put money, and I help all my fighters to, get a high level fight in Russia, like Buscapé, like Milton, even America too. They fought before they go to Shuto, and it's for me is like a passion. I did it for my heart. I had no money involved on that. Actually, I helped them. I gave them money. I support them, doctors, supplements, and everything. I did what I could to help, and I was on those helps is stay in a underground forum and try to get fights for them, because at that time it's very hard to get fights. Remember that, no?
Yeah,
It is very hard to get fights, especially from Brazil. The
quality
Japanese,
fights.
yes, it's very difficult. Few fights, and people have no money on the business, and I helped with the flight tickets and stuff like that. And I was always in an underground forum, and I used actually Benkei. People didn't call me Benkei at that time. Only Andrea. Only could call me Benkei was my master, because I was always faithful for him. And Benkei in Japan is a symbol of a faithful warrior.
Loyal.
And that because he told me about the story. It's Musashibo Benkei. I always using Musashibo as my email, and because that's I registered an underground forum with that email, and people read Musashibo Benkei, and Dan Lambert was one of those guys, was on under that thread. That thread's great. Their entire business in America. You are there. I was there. Everybody was there, and I push all of my fighters to 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 fight and to get and after even after fights, and when they succeed, when they win, I always put the dun 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 another Mbadbi dust. This is gonna be my first quote. And after that, they win the fights. And Dan Lambert got this. Dan Lambert got that things. And when Hermes Franca was in American Top Team, he broke up with American Top Team, but still with the relationship with Dan. And then Hermes went to Brazil to train to Brazilian Top Team. Then sent him to Brazil, and then asked him to train to he train with me. And then we started talking, and I started to make his conditioner, and I started to give him thoughts about what I think about his schedule and everything. He said, "Oh, Benkei, can you go to America? I have a tournament right now. It's Euphoria. Remember Euphoria?"
Mm-hmm. That
And
was me. I was a
and
matchmaker.
yes, yeah, yes, of
Mm-hmm.
course. And just forgot. It's true. And then uh, I, he said to me, "Let's make a camp over there." Man, I say, "Bro, look, this is my passion. My business here. I cannot let my business, and go there to make a camp. No, please, Becky, go. Okay, let's go." And I forget, and I travel with him. I stay 1 month in Jupiter to make his camp. At that time, we just met the guy who has the gym there. Then sent us there, and when I was there, we visit America Top Team. When I visit America Top Team, I start to talk to Liborio and talk to Liborio. I say, "Liborio, why you guys kick this guy out? You're best fighter right now." And the guy has more chance to be on UFC and more chance to show up. Why you guys kick him out? I said, "No, because he has a problem with people here." I said, "Look, this is the past. Try to make him." And I couldn't put him make Liborio understand the importance of Hermes, and Liborio bring him back. When Liborio bring him back and finish the camp, I went back to I met some guys like Thiago Alves, Jay Diaz. Jay Diaz was my kid in my gym, and he went there before me, and he was there. Jesus was training with me, 17 years old, back on Universo Atlético. And then he was there too. I say, hey, Benkei, hey, come on, come to train. I say, man, you crazy. How can I go to America? I have my business there. I cannot leave the things and come here, like a crazy man. I forget my own things and just live by the dream. And but I went back to Brazil, and they start to email me, ask me, please come over. And I look my life, I say, why? Man, let's do it. I just moved to America, bro. You know, crazy. I let my gym to my cousin. My cousin was the middle, is my partner there. He paid me. He paid me the gym with the amount of money what I normally got for per month.
Mhm.
So I just gave him the gym. That's true. I just gave him the gym, and man, it was a big gym. It's like the machines, everything. Well, I have more than 1,000 students in sub-zone of Rio de Janeiro. The gym was very profitable. I had a very good life. I didn't. Nobody do this, but I don't care. I went. I went to America Top Team, and I start to work with the board and the other guys. And when I come, of course, same. Over there was not organized about the schedule. We don't have coach to make. Actually, at that time they are almost finished they are about to finish the pro fighter training because they have no results, and it was a little bit difficult. They pay salary for the fighters and everything. When I arrived there, Dan started not paying the fighters, stopped to pay them, and just give them, food and support like a normal gym. And we stabilized the new schedule, new schedule training, and some guys left and some guys stay. And the guys who stay, they stay for good. And then start the American Top Team the way you see now. And
Yeah,
we stabilized the structure of the training. Libor uh, let me do it the right way and put the schedule for everything, put the control of the diet and conditioning and the right time for each training and the guys became a machines, and we start to win all fights, and
So
boom.
let's talk about some of the early fighters from American Top Team. Then, let me throw some guys out there. One guy who had a lot of success, but was also one of those guys, kind of crazy, Marco Aurelio.
Marco Aurelio.
What
Yes, my friend. Look, Marcus Aurelio was the first guy to put us on a map. He won Takanori Gomi, and in the middle of the national TV he's supposed to be destroyed, and he gave a checkmate in 3 minutes of fight, submit him, put to sleep. The undefeated Japanese who beat everybody, the monster of Japan, and the destroyer of Brazilians, and he stopped that guy, and that on that night, American Top Team became known all over the world. People start to talk about the team and start to fear the team. And after Marcos, everything started.
Yeah,
Marco was the pioneer. He was a little bit crazy because Marcos loved party.
yeah,
He's a
yeah.
party boy.
He was unpredictable.
Yes, he's a party boy. He likes party. When we can control him, he did great. But sometimes
Now
he party too much.
there were a lot of uncontrollable guys in American Top Team at one position or another. When you got there, you also had them blending American guys, and
Yes.
I don't think anybody's crazier than Jeff Monson.
Jeff Moses, Jeff Moses is the number one. Jeff Moses now is a Muslim. You believe in that?
Yeah, he moved to Russia. He lives in
The
Russia, I think.
Muslim. I cannot believe, man. I'm Muslim too, but Jeff became Muslim. Oh my God, my religion is powerful to become a crazy guy like that, a Muslim.
Yeah, hopefully it helps him because
Yes, I hope so. If he follows, yes, but he's the craziest guy I ever met on that business.
but
I saw him like he would forget his mouthpiece and grab the mouthpiece of the guy who just finished the fight with the blood, and oh my God, put in the mouth. Let's go, Benkei. Let's go fight. He's like that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. But how about his talent?
The-
How good is
Jeff,
he? His talent, yes.
unbelievable. Jeff is the guy who has so many injuries, and he competes to his mind, one of the most strongest mind I ever see. He put his mind, I'm gonna fight, I'm gonna fight. And even with the very bad injuries, and especially in his back, he keep competing, he keep winning. This guy, his mind is set. He's crazy, but his mindset is unbelievable. He's one of those biggest warrior I ever seen. I put him on second. First is Dennis Kane. Dennis Kane for me is a hero. Then what I saw Dennis do, I never see nobody did. Nobody.
I
Nobody, nobody. What he did on the finals of the tournament, 1 week before the tournament, one amazing tournament in Pride.
against Mizaki
Yes, but
and go he beat
what he
Gono
passed, yes, what he passed before was unbelievable. Like
with
1 week
Shelby, yeah.
before, Shelby killed herself. He was with me driving car around all over the many hotels to see what she was, and we found her in the morning. She killed herself, and he stayed in my apartment, man, entire week before we traveled. He's crying. He was depressed, but he said, "No, Benkei, I'm gonna fight." And he went there. His first fight against Takanori Akihiro Gono was an amazing fight. He tore his biceps in the end of the first round. He tore his biceps. He fought 1 round, 5 minutes with Gono with the bicep tore. He went back. I look at him and say, "Dennis, your bicep is tore, bro. Now is nothing to do." He say, "No, Benkei, take that. I'm gonna fight even without my arm." And he's supposed to fight against Paulo Filho, man. Unbelievable. His mindset I never see. He didn't blink. He said, tape my arm. I'm gonna fight. I don't care. And I taped his arm with the special tapes we have in Japan.
Yeah.
And he fought Mizaki. Amazing fight. No, amazing, bro. The guy was a machine. Dennis is a hero, and I never see nobody do that. People complain about one hand broken, one fingers on the. He was the tore biceps.
Yeah, no.
No
We
arm.
recently had Dennis on the podcast and watched the Misaki fight together, and it was very wonderful to hear his insights and things. And yeah, I agree with you. And Munson did have credible. Now Munson's been very honest with me, and I'm very good friends with Jeff. And you're a strength and conditioning coach. What do you think about him with steroids and things like this? What he was that crazy?
Nah, yes, but look, even the straight condition with me, he do few things because he has so many injuries. And actually, he wants to take something because if he didn't take it, he couldn't never walk. He has too many injuries, too many injuries. And I believe like without the help of the steroids, he cannot even move. For him, it's the medicine. It's not because nothing because the medicine. And the reason he can perform is I not put in steroids. I put in his mindset because he compete every week, bro. He compete in this weekend, another weekend, unbelievable. And he just go. I'm going. Say, man, no, I don't care. I go. His mindset is unbelievable.
Okay. Now you said,
He has two things. He's crazy, but mindset also good.
and you said he's number one crazy. I have a challenger. Were you there with Hector Lombard?
No, Hector, a good friend of mine. Hector, as soon as I left the team, Hector come.
Okay.
Hector come.
But Hector's
Hector
another
is a
interesting
special
guy.
human being.
Oh yeah.
Hector is a special human being. I love him. I love Cuban people. Cuban people are my people. I'm feeling always comfortable with the Cuban guys. And Hector had a very difficult time, and he's training Cuba in judo. They push him too much, And when he compete. Doesn't matter if it's sparring or not. He compete for real,
110%.
110%. This is Hector.
Yeah. I agree with you. The Cubans are special. We talked
Yes.
a little bit about shooter box. a lot of people don't know Pele Landi is
Pele
Cuban.
is Cuban.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm good friends with him. I booked him a few times also. Um, but the thing I remember about the Cubans also that was interesting and added to the Brazilian legend was that the Nogueira brothers went to Cuba to box, to learn boxing.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
What do you remember about
Uh,
this? Was that the same coach in boxing?
yes. They actually they went to train with Pedro there as well. Their coach in Bahia is very good friend of Pedro too, and they always went to they brought Pedro also Pedro just to do seminars in Brazil and Bahia and training with the national team in Brazil over there with Pedro when Pedro was in Cuba. Pedro now is in Miami. This is a Pedro moved to Miami and now he's has the Mundo Box, amazing boxing school, and they are getting the, in my opinion, for MMA the best boxing
Yeah,
because Cuban boxing give you footwork, give you a knowledge of distance, and give you a knowledge of offense, defense, and power offense. That concept they have, it's unique. That make them that make them win so much times in Olympics, and now they start to getting in professional fights. And this weekend we're gonna have two monsters coming from this school fighting in the same kind of Crawford and Andy Cruz and Morel. Both guys, if you guys like boxing, watching those guys, they are amazing. Like,
yeah. You know,
Andy Cruz is for me is the new Lomachenko. He's the same. He's same matrix of Lomachenko. And Morel has a power. My God, he's a Cuban style with the power of a mano de piedra Duran. Same.
yeah, the Cubans to me, especially in boxing, the talent is there.
Yes.
Where because in Cuba, they get taken care of. Their business part still needs a little
Yes.
help because I think in the last 20 years, 10 years, the best guy I've seen box might be Guillermo Rigondeaux. This guy,
Yes.
this guy was an artist. Also, he fought
Yes.
Lomachenko, but he's more too
Yes.
small, and he
Too
was
small for
older.
Lomachenko.
But he was fantastic, and I love the mindset.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Always thinks he's going to win.
Fantastic.
Eris Langley Lara is also very good. There are so many
Yeah.
guys. So many guys, and yeah, the Cubans. I talked to. I don't know if you know who Montel Griffin is. Uh, uh,
Yes.
he beat Roy Jones, and
Yes.
he always said that the thing about the Cubans is that in every weight class they've got 10 guys. It's like the top guys, but they're so deep and so crazy.
Yes.
So it's just a phenomenal boxing pedigree. So
The
that's where you go.
system, the
Yeah.
system what they have for creative this phenomenal fighters, it's amazing, huh? And they have they developed over there one system to getting from the kids to the Olympics, a perfect situation. They have a first they have a lot of people training boxing,
Yeah.
and they choose the right guys to train in boxing. And they start to separate them when they was kids and then going up and up and up and up. And they have like they know how to make it. The system they have for getting new talents is amazing. And they have a lot of fighters, a lot of kids training boxing there. That's also good.
And let's talk about another Cuban. Have you run across Yoel Romero?
Yes. Romero, I'm a big fan of Romero. Also, I'm not with him on the American top team, but I got because we live in close and we got friendship. Romero for me is another. Well, he's still fighting and is still fighting at high level. This
He's in
guy
his
is a
40s.
super athlete.
Yeah. Now let
One
me
of those guys more impressed me in my life about his athleticism is him. He's amazing.
yeah.
Romero
Now,
is
I'll tell you, you know, MMA is also a world of fantasy where, what if Fedor fought John Jones when they were both in their prime? These
yes,
types of questions. Yoel Romero in his prime might have been the best challenge to John Jones.
Yes. Just the only problem is John Jones have a size advantage a lot. He has size advantage, and John Jones has a good wrestler too. His Greco is very good, you know. His
Mhm.
background is Greco and a strong Greco, and
Are
this
you
has helped him a
picking? Are
lot.
you picking John Jones?
Yes, I will pick John Jones
Okay, that's fair. I
because
respect.
the size. But I'm big fan of Romero. You put me in a very difficult situation right now because I really a big fan of Romero, both. But John Jones, his size, his skills, his size, he's a for me is the best fighter in MMA ever.
You think
That's the
so?
truth.
See,
Yes,
I'll argue with you. Let's talk a little bit. John Jones always fought guys same weight. To me,
yes.
Fedor Fedor fought guys double his size,
No,
practically
I
double
agree.
his size, which is a
But
crazy
now
effort.
now now he's going to the big boys. No, now he's going to the big boys. Let's see now. No, but you're right. You're right. Fido was. If you ask me the best heavyweight ever, Fido, 100%. You know, and I always I always gonna be fan of him, even when the coach think I'm a Macumba guy. You heard that?
No, tell the story. Go ahead.
No, no. You know, I trained Bigfoot to train to fight Fido, and we won the fight. And that was the fight. He really was uh, beaten all in all aspect of the game. They got crazy about. See, Bigfoot was faster, know how to do it, and they say after the fight was me who put in prohibit technical of mind control on Fido to make him do it like that. It's true, and they say this is a black magic, and I was using the power of the this prohibit control mind control technique on the fights. That's true, bro.
That's very
They
interesting.
wrote articles about it. It's about very funny. After the fight, their coach say that. I say, at that time, I was not Muslim, but I actually also not macumbero too.
Yeah.
Not
No,
santero macumbero. I was not too. Was
I,
just
I
a training.
I'll tell you a story. When I was with Bodog, I Fedor fought for me, and my original opponent, I tried to get Randy Couture. and
Oh,
and 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 Randy Couture, I talked to him on the phone, and he said to me, I asked him to fight for $3 million, and he said, I just signed last week with the UFC, I cannot.
oh,
But my friend will do the fight, and he gave the phone to Matt Lindland, who was the guy who did the fight. So I told Fedor, I have a easier opponent. It's a silver medalist, but he's smaller and
yeah,
everything like
smaller
that.
than me.
And they were mad at me because when they realized that Matt Lindland was very good, also, they said to me, he goes, "You're a liar." I was like, I didn't lie about anything.
Oh,
But
you're right.
they were like,
It's
"No,
very smaller than him.
this is not an easy fight." No,
No,
Lindland
not easy fight.
was a guy that knew how to cut weight. He walked into that fight at 215. So Fedor was 230. It's not so
Yeah,
bad. But and he cut Fedor with the first punch.
yeah, it was. I
So
remember that.
so it's definitely very interesting. But yeah, Fedor, they protected him, Vadim and those guys
Yes, yes.
protected him in
Was
any way
Vadim. Was.
possible.
No, but actually, was not Vadim would say that. Vadim is friend of mine too. You know, you remember that MM1 and everything. He put Buscapé to fight that Milton too. And but was his coach, and at that time he had some priests would always go with him too. And
Okay,
this guy
wow.
was saying that. It's man, this is so funny. This all over the press, all over the press. Even his manager uh, laughed and start to put. No, yes, Benkei got some chicken and put the beer.
Now,
That was funny.
were you with Noguera when he fought Fedor?
No, 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 Nogueira is just a friend. Nogueira was represent top team, and I was with the American top team that time. I didn't train the people from there. I was with Bigfoot because Bigfoot he left American top team. He was without team, and it's a good story too. It is. I was in Florida, and I working with the Prime Time, one company who has all the biggest specialists on sports, and they have a nice, amazing gym with all equipment. But they tried to convince me to make a team. I never say yes. But by the end of the year, because I say, okay, I'm not gonna come back to American Top Team. Let's make the team. And I travel to Brazil to when I come back, they will make a new team and they make a new training center. But the guy who has the money, who just disappeared and took all the money for those guys, and they end up with the machines and everything. One of those guys has a warehouse. He put these machines over there as a warehouse. And when Bigfoot called me, I say, okay, Bigfoot, we can make a team over here. Let's make one team for you training. And then I hire a coach and I bring a Guto Inocente, Asker Cyril, Eli Latif, uh, Vitor Miranda, and look, was Guto Inocente, Vitor Miranda, Eli Latif, and Asker Cyril, 4 heavyweights. I bring them 2 from Brazil, 2 from Europe, and they help the training over there, and they make they make the entire camp of Bigfoot. And by the end, I was not, happy with the, the payment situation and everything. And after the fight, everybody started to talk about what we did there. And I got invited for Matthews to go to Hit Squad. Then I was already going to Hit Squad, but the people from American Top Team who work with training with me went there, and they are supposed to make a new American Top Team on that place. Name is Imperial, who I made it. And they stay there. And I said, no problem. I'm gonna leave. You guys can stay and make American Top Team. But the guy they brought to there was Glenn Hobson, and they broke up with Dan Lambert, and they made a Brazilian top. They made Black Zillions over there. After I left,
Yeah.
and that place became a Black Zillions after. The
Yeah,
place
yeah.
we were training Bigfoot, and all these guys I'm talking about, Ilila Chief, Good, they stay there. Only Asker Cyril went with me to Missouri, and we
This is
trained
one of
at the
those.
hit squad.
It's one of those crazy things in the sport where guys with money, Dan and Glenn, were rivals.
Yeah,
They did not like
yeah,
each other.
they fought because Glenn's supposed to open the American Top Team there in that Imperial place. But he'd say, I don't want to be under nobody, and I want to have I want to make you guys fight for me, and then give them money for those people who was original from American Top Team, and they stay there. They opened the team, and they broke up with them. And this is create a bad blood. And
Yeah.
more funny, when they have fight each other, they call me to be on the Black Zilla side.
Oh my. Did you do the UFC TV show with the Black
Yes,
Jew?
yes. I made a ultimate fighter. I trained the camp. I made the camp. I come, made the camp, stay in a with Black Zillions only for the camp. This my job was organize the camp for the ultimate fighters. And then
Yeah.
we training and doing the show. I was also I make my part over there, but my big part was before when I make the camp for the show. I organized the camp together with George Santiago, and George was at that time was transition for a coach, for head coach, and I helped him to do this. George is a friend. Huh? George is my fighter and a friend. And now
Yeah.
I just stay for that show, nothing more.
I
After
love
that, I
George.
left.
George is one of those guys that, he was American Top Team, and Dan used to let me find the opponents for him. And I put Keith Wisniewski in against George.
I
And
remember that
Keith
fight.
and Keith beat him. you know?
Yes.
And then, it's a legendary fight for that because nobody expected Keith to beat him, but he got the job done. You mentioned Bigfoot. I'll tell you a crazy Bigfoot story. He fought for me in Vancouver. And because, you know, as a
That must be
Brazilian,
fun.
yeah, coming up, Alex Davis was with him. And
Uh-huh.
so as a Brazilian, every once in a while you're in a fight and you don't get paid or whatever, Now, Bozo, we're gonna pay you. But there was a problem with cash. So they paid him with a check in Canadian dollars. And he went crazy. He was threatening to kill people in the airport. Only because Alex Davis
Yeah,
is a
man.
good guy that he took care of
Bigfoot.
it. We got him his
Uh,
money, but
yeah, Bigfoot is a great guy, but sometimes his mind is too much crazy. Like when before he fought Fido, I supposed to travel one day before we did, but I stay with him because he must to go to the doctors to clarify his situation to can fight. He must to step on three different doctors to they check him and to they give him the okay to he can fight. But he was not patient to do. He locked himself in home, and then Alex called me and said, Benkei, please go there, help him, bring him to the doctors because he doesn't want to go to the doctor. Man, I grabbed him by my hand like a kid, Let's go one by one, and he
I,
made it.
I,
Let him go to fight.
he's a man.
He's a big kid.
Yeah, a
Uh,
big
He's a
exactly.
big kid.
Yeah.
That's it.
Do you think he was scared of Fedor?
No, no, no. It was because like he hates weight. He has no patience. Sometimes some submission he didn't do it because he has no patience to waiting the submission. He's like that. One time against Mike Kyle, he had Mike Kyle on arm triangle done, but then okay, I let him go because he didn't waiting couple seconds to finish the fight. He's like that. He has no patience to wait nothing, and he doesn't have patience to wait to the doctors. He's gonna lose the fight because that almost race blood now. No, I never lose one fight with Bigfoot. Never. I always want to train him. He won. I never lose. You see, Bigfoot, but, because he needs the real approach training. He needs the real camp with everything right, because his body is like it's good when you're training and bad when you're not training. If you forget something, his body is like have nothing immediate. He's 100% or 0%. Boom, 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 boom. Because he's a strange GH problem.
Yeah.
He's strange, bro. He's supposed to be a giant, but he's not a giant. He's taller, but not that taller. But he's large, and he's a midget for the giants.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. And I know what you mean because he has the jaw
Yeah, he's
growing and
acromegaly.
yeah.
He's supposed to be giant, but he's not. He's taller, but not that big. But he's very large. Everything on him is
Yeah,
unbelievable.
big bone.
Big
Yeah,
bones.
yeah, just
Last
large.
time I saw is 3 centimeters over here, by this bone on the head.
Yeah. You know what, Todd? You with us still, buddy? Why don't you jump in
Todd,
here a little bit? I'll give you some floor because I've been
Todd
taking over.
Duffy.
So
Yeah, I was just listening.
Todd
Yeah, I was
Duffy's
letting
still
you.
my kid.
Yeah, I was letting you do your thing. Obviously, I've talked to Andre a couple of times, so I'm pretty, familiar with a lot of his stuff. He had told the story to you already about the anaconda choke that was created at his gym. I thought that was something interesting.
just so
That I
people know out there, I remember Milton fought for me in Brazil, and you know, it's a long time ago. It doesn't matter so much. We all went back to the hotel and smoked pot together.
No, for you a long time ago. For him is always Milton love that thing.
I think maybe talk more about now. I mean, I know you talked a little bit about that, but because I've talked to Andre about his history, but you know, maybe talk about coming back again this time, maybe, I know you talked about UC Gym, but maybe something you would maybe try to do different this time than you did before, or is there
Yes,
something like that?
yes, that's true. Like before, what happened before? In American Top Team before, I was, when you have passion for some woman and you just forget everything and you just follow and you don't thinking, you just follow your heart. And I was a little bit like that when American Top Team. I couldn't make a different way. Today I see a different perspective. I believe I can make a different way if I was with the mature I have right now. And look, I left America Top Team for three reasons. First reason is to fighters have a gym to train for real, because they train in a laboratory gym, and I wanted they have one training center for themselves. We are the best team in the world at that time, and before I understand, when I arrived, I talked to them. I say I have friendship in the biggest fitness company in the world, and they can give you guys whatever you guys wants to buy equipment. And they say, no, I spend a lot of money with this. I understand he really spent a lot of money with the team. And I waiting for the right time. And I working 3 years, 4 years, and the gym became the best team in the world. And I said, then that was the time. And he said, what do you want? I don't want to spend more money now because I already spent a lot of money. I said, I understand, but now you have the best team in the world. And we have a little bit argument about that, and also about the training system, about even to put the border to stay more on the backstage, stay more out of the system, because he was busy with different things, and we making camps and he was not in the camp, and then he comes to sometimes to be on the corner or to do warm up and do many different things we are not used to do during the camps. And this is also make a disturber for the guys, and for specifically for the guys have my understanding, they must have the support, 100% support till they became champions in UFC. At that time we have three guys to be champions: Wilson Gouveia, Thiago Silva, Thiago Alves. There are three guys couldn't be champion, and unhappily just one hit the possibility with the George St. Pierre fight. And that because I left. If I know, if I ask Dan, can you give me 2 times my salary? He's gonna say, no, you don't want a 3. I was not working for money. I was working for my passion. But the way I said that things was a little bit hard. I was a little bit more aggressive than I couldn't be. Maybe I can explain this as a different way, and I couldn't make them do it what they have right now, because they just did this everything I said. Put some people out for do whatever they want, put the team on the zone training camp and have the perfect equipment to they can training. Right now, he just did that, and time passed. I was right about, and he did it now, but I couldn't make this right way if I have more, how can I say, more political way to say my things.
Well,
Now I'm pretty much like that too. Now I can deal with the situations and be more political and understand better the persons, and try to get not make people angry or step on the ego of the persons, but help them to understand the point of view to move forward. But here at that time, I'm very lucky. Mr. Osivet, the owner of the project, is the fan of the sport. His understanding of the MMA, man, hold me crazy, because a guy was pretty much outside of the game, understand the game at that level, and understand what they need to make it a team and create. He's so passionate. He's create those gyms. He's start the UFC gyms to have financial support so he can pay the professional team what he gonna create. It's not gonna be, of course, it's a new brand. We have no name yet because we are right now in the process to selling the name rights. Have two companies can be the name rights of the new team, but his passion about the professional level and to make this professional team. And man, I cannot be more lucky to have someone like him on my side.
I'm going to jump in, Todd, before giving you the floor back, because you mentioned a couple of things in the interview. One was maybe, during those times you had a lack of maturity. You were different. And since
Yes.
then, I only want to talk about positive things. I don't want to
Yeah, me
have.
too. Me too.
And,
Me too. I don't want to. Yeah.
and let's
Things are already
educate.
past so many years.
And let's educate people.
Yes,
I think becoming a Muslim helped you.
exactly. Too much. Now I don't have no. For a long time, I was angry about the things what happened but then I realized it was my fault, because if I couldn't make it a different way, today everybody's be on today everybody, and me too, was at the point I was trying to get it. Do you understand my point?
Mm-hmm.
It is because my temper, the way I said the things was very, very rude. I couldn't reach the place they are right now by themselves. And past 10 years, they couldn't have much more on back on time. I can help them better, and also I couldn't be in the better way. But at the other point of view, God is perfect, because I left American Top Team, I entered in the heart of the wrestling America. Who Brazilian coach, couldn't coaching, and Missouri treasure of folk wrestling, the heart of the folk wrestling America. I coaching there. I understand the American point of view of wrestling. I understand the American point of view of MMA. This is priceless. This is God gave me. If I would stay in America, maybe I didn't. No, I went to Japan. I understand the kickboxing one. I went to Thailand. I went to Iran to understand the wrestling in Iran.
Wow.
Man, it's like I so lucky. I went to Cuba to understand the Cuban boxing. I stayed with the Cuban people for a long time. I trained with them. I understand their point of view. And man, this is a priceless.
Yeah.
My life was a priceless. I got many different point of views, and then also in Amsterdam with the Dutch people. I have friendship all over the world. I just made my own visa, O1 visa again, and I asked people to send me letters. Man, I get a letter for 30 different countries, and all these peoples from the highest level in kickboxing, Muay Thai, wrestling, BJJ, Sambo. Man, this is priceless. This is my life after American Top Team was priceless.
Now, one thing you haven't mentioned is you spent time in Abu Dhabi too.
Yes.
Now
I spent it, man. I
coached.
went to Pakistan. I went to Dubai. I went to Abu Dhabi. I went to Iran.
That's amazing.
I was working in Brazil with two fighters, coach national team in Iran. One is Greco, one is freestyle. That totally different point of view of wrestling. The way they do it is different. I work in America and with Matthews in Missouri to understand also
Who'd you work with in Missouri? Matt Hughes?
Matt Hughes. Yes, I was in his camp. I worked with him with his team over there. No, Matt was already retired, but I worked with his team.
I was going
Hit
to ask
squad.
you in Missouri. What about Wade Rome? He's an ATT guy, but did you run into Wade Rome?
Yes, Tyrone was with us at that time. He was training there too. Tyrone was there. We training there. All the Matthew plus Tyrone and we make a Fine hit squat at that time. They have Fines there, the Fine guy, and they made this new team, Fine hit squat, but was in Illinois and Granite City and Matthews gym, the perfect gym. I love that gym. Oh my God, it's not there anymore. They closed it, but for me, one of those best gym I ever worked. It is perfect for fights.
That's all. Todd, take it
We
away.
made a couple good guys there, you know. Dustin Jacobs still fighting in UFC. He was a product of that team of that time.
Yeah, I
Was
asked Dean Thomas about this last night, and so I kind of want to get your perspective on it. Just this is more of a historical thing, I would say, is you were part of this inception of American Top Team. You know, and I remember on the Underground when they had like the sketches, you remember? They had like the
yes, yes.
drawings of what it was going to look like, and you know,
Uh-huh.
kind of talk about this first, kind of mega gym where the money was there to make this a reality. Maybe talk about what you saw in the early days of that.
Let me understand. You want me to talk about what my point of view before that happened?
No, just when you first get there, you see this inception of American Top Team, this first mega gym that has this money. Maybe tell us about it. Just your experience seeing that for the first time.
When I arrived, no, when I arrived was not that mega gym, bro. It had nothing there. It's a gym, with the horrible machines to train. Everything was broken. I buy my own bands to training. That was the reality of the gym at that time. And we have equipments. Their equipments are old already or usual. Yeah, we made the things, by ourselves. We didn't have coach yet stabilized, and I we get Wally. Then Wally come, Wally Muhammad, and man, do you understand? They wants to kick Muhammad out, Wally out of the team before the teams really get his training. And I put Wally to live in my house. I said, no, Wally's gonna stay with me. Wally stayed with me in my house 6 years, and he didn't pay nothing. He didn't pay nothing on my house. He just stay in my house for free for 6 years, and because I want him working with the fighters, you know, and pretty much like that was at that time was this big gym everybody imagined, was created by the union of the fighters. They come to my house one day. I remember that like now, and we sit together and say, "Look, guys," because they just had then finished their payments. They're not going to pay them anymore, and they say, "What are we going to do?" I say, "Fight." That's the fight. The fighter job is fight. You guys gonna fight. You guys gonna win. You guys gonna put money in the pocket. And JZS was in the Big Brother. We call the apartment with the 1,000 people inside. George too. Pitbull was living with his girlfriend, and George also. And 1 year after that, everybody has his own apartment and cars, and everything changes because they fight and they win.
Now,
That's
let
the
me
job
ask
of
you.
the fighters.
Let me ask you because you have to. We all respect Dan Lambert, and
Now
in the
that
early
man,
in the early days, he spent so much money, and
so much
sometimes
fun.
people
Don't
took
ask me where.
advantage of him.
Yes,
You
all the time.
because there were fighters that were good, but were never going to
Yes,
make it. Do you remember? I remember a guy named Moacir Boca.
yes. Nice guy,
Yeah, nice guy and
nice guy, but he's
a
not gonna make it.
super
Right?
tough guy, but not a
Yes,
champion guy.
not champion. Yes.
Yeah, and these
Look,
guys showed up there, and he was paying for those guys too.
yes. Look, let me say to you what I think about Dan Lambert. If me and you and everybody's here now, it's because him. He created the sport. People don't understand how important was Dan Lambert. I told that during the Ultimate Fighter. because they suppose I'm gonna say shit about Dan and say I cannot do this, bro. Because this guy was the responsible to we are here right now talking about MMA or have a show in MMA. UFC are here because him too. Because he created, you know that, Miguel, you remember that state by state he helps shows and to create the boxing commission create the MMA commission and and the state. He helps the boxing commission. He helps the shows, the
fighters.
small shows, to have fighters there, to have American top team fighters there. He paid our fighters and the opponents. He paid the show. He helps everybody all over America. I know all America because him. He sent me to this place with the fighters to fight on those places, and he helps them. He put the money on. Man, Dan is the most important figure, in my opinion, in MMA in America because he made that game the way we see now. We must have deeper respect for him. That is a pointless, bro. That's a he can be funny guy, make bad jokes. Doesn't matter. He was the guy who created that sport for we working right now
Yep.
in
No,
America, 100%.
100% agree. And the situation with Dan, as I understand it, and I worked for him, also, and he helped me become big and everything. Also, when I had my moment in the sport, but at a moment in 2007, 2008, now the UFC was already big. Dan said, "Now this is no longer my passion; it's a business." And he
Yes,
changed a little bit.
yes,
And
yes,
what
yes. I agree.
you know what makes me sad is that him and Laboria are not close anymore. Because Laboria deserves a little respect, and not that Dan
Uh-huh.
disrespected him because Dan put up all the money. But
Yes,
but Laborio is a genius among geniuses.
look, Liborio is the one of those best grappling jiu-jitsu guys I ever seen in my life. Point. This is a pointless, That's pointless. As a coach, no, I don't agree. As a coach, I don't agree. Because, I was there, I know. So I know I don't agree. But as a fighter, man, my fighter was in shape, in training hard. He was coming fat without training, go there to meet everybody. He's amazing. As a fighter, he's amazing. As a fighter, he's amazing. But as a coach, that's because I believe Dan has a problem with him because sometimes first I believe he doesn't like MMA. Never likes MMA. He likes grappling. He doesn't like MMA. This is the point. He did MMA because of money, and that's it. But his passion is grappling, and I think it was that. And then when he left, when he stayed by himself there, and he must to come in to just do spar. That's what's happened. He's supposed to come one time a week to do sparring. He didn't do it, and for a year. Then that because they cut the money, and he was in Orlando, and the new gym was in still Coconut Creek. No, I don't remember the
Coconut Creek or Coral Gables.
still Coconut Creek. Yeah, maybe some the new gym. I don't know, but he's supposed to come in and travel one time a week to to do the sparring. He didn't come, and then that because 1 year after then cut the money, and they have a bad relationship. And I believe Libor say something about American Top Team. I'm not sure. I just see
Yep.
this, and they broke up,
Yeah,
and
no,
that because
that's where I don't know any details either. And but I respect Dan so much that he's probably right. Then I know Laborio very well, and Laborio, as amazing as he is, has a little bit of a childish streak. Like,
yeah.
you know,
So, no, this is no. Each people has everyone has different behavior. You know, Liborio has he put something in his heart and he never left.
Yeah.
And that's his way, no? That's his way.
Yeah.
And
And
they've been apart.
for Liborio, from his perspective, he now, you know, in life he feels betrayed by Carlson Gracie. He feels betrayed by Dan.
Yes,
I wish he would feel better.
yes. No, but you know why? Because one day he's gonna stop and say, you know why? Ah, man, this is we are together for good times, no? If you ask me about Libor, in my mind, it was coming good times. We had very good times in many different ways, and always that come to my mind. It's not a bad part. You know, funny. I'll tell a good story. When I was in the Ultimate Fighter, we won all the fights, 5 fights in a row, straight. Boom. Every fight was in Black Zillions, okay? Then we lost one. That we must go to America Top Team, the old headquarter, the one I worked before. And man, I was at the one night before I didn't sleep, man. I said, man, what am I gonna feel? I was almost 10 years without go there, said without step the gym. What am I gonna feel? I'm gonna feel bad. Maybe, man, you know what happened? When I was driving, when I parking, all the good things come to my mind, bro. I remember open that door 5 a.m. to train with the boxing guys, to help Master Howard with the boxing guys, to stay all my day there and my love for that team, for everything I passed by. You know, man, I smile in the right way. I say, man, I love that place. You know what happened? All the old fighters from American Top Team come to me, man. We stay together. I stay more with the American Top Team than the Black Seals.
I believe it. I
And it's
believe it.
funny. It was magic, you know, was magic. I was,
Yeah.
oh my God, I remember everything. Everything come to my mind. And even you guys talk about Dean Thomas. Hey, the crazy, lazy jab for Dean Thomas. Nobody has that jab, you know. And I was tell the guys, each one, you know, Mike Brown. And man, everything was just coming good things, you know. And one day they will also going to realize that. And we have a dinner, everybody together, and going to remember good things. That's, you know, that's life. That passed by already, you know,
Yeah.
passed by already. When I look to Libora, just looking good things. Then now we became friends. No, then we became after the Ultimate Fighter, we became close friends. I was email him. He helped me a lot. He helped me a lot with my resume many times. Even that job, he's helped me a lot to get in America, to get back my visas and everything.
Now I'm going to ask you one last question, and then give it to Todd as we start to wrap up here. But Liborio versus Hickson, what do you think?
At the gym?
In jiu-jitsu, it's
No, I mean, but depend of the place. At the gym, lock the door, Libor. At the competition, Hickson.
yeah. I believe that's a good assessment. You know, I'll tell you a story. There's a famous MMA tournament in Kuwait with that Dave Monet won with Kareem Barklev, Pele, Matt Hughes, some great fighters in this tournament. Liborio was in that tournament and he pulled out.
Yes, yes. Libor is, this is his problem as a coach too. He's so much time, he's looking too much the other side. He put too much power in the other side. He forget his own power. When he competes, he's not half of a real Libor. Man, what I saw he doing, you know, nobody tell me. I saw he doing on training. When fighters was in shape, man, that time American Top Team has a strongest and fastest and the man killers. I remember Tibau, when Tibau comes and say, Benkei, I never trained with a team so strong. Pequeno too. Pequeno went there before the fight of Jose Aldo. That was bad mistake because Pequeno was the strongest guy in ever. But he was training and he was in Brazil by himself for 4 years. Then he comes to America Top Team, and he saw the guys 4 years before, and now he trained with them again 4 years after. They are very strong. This is mess with his mind. I remember that.
Do you
Messing his
remember?
mind.
Do you remember Aaron Riley?
Yes, Aaron Riley was with us there.
Yeah. Aaron Riley said to me, he
Aaron,
said, and we talked about how powerful Jeff Munson was. Aaron Riley said to me, he saw Liborio turn Jeff Munson into a pretzel.
yes, 100%.
It's crazy.
No,
It's
crazy.
unbelievable the power of the mind. And I think that as I close out and hand it off to Todd, I'm grateful for the interview with you. I always remembered you as a guy that had the mind game as well as the physical game. And I'm grateful to talk to you again, man. It's been wonderful
Me
to
too, my
walk down
brother.
memory lane with you.
Me
Todd,
too, my brother. I'm very glad and happy to make that podcast with you, man. It's an honor for me. You are part of the sport. You're a legend of the sport. You're the guy who pioneered to make fantastic shows, and you helped me a lot back on time. Helped
yeah,
my
and you helped
fighters
me
to
too.
get
I
there.
remember. I remember there was a show in Mexico looking for a matchmaker, and you recommended me.
Yes,
So for
yes,
sure,
yes.
I'm grateful for having been able to connect with you and to still have a connection so we can talk and remember and everything like that. But I want to give Todd the closing because I've talked too much.
Okay, my brother. Us.
Um, Miguel talked about becoming a Muslim, but maybe talk about your daughter, Andressa, like how much you think this impact your new outlook,
As a Muslim,
just as a person, as you're living your
look,
life and maybe
man,
with the
my
MMA
the
and everything.
be a Muslim was a process, no? Be a Muslim was a process of understanding of the word understanding of my internal understanding too. And I became Muslim not because of blind faith, but because the understanding of the science and the vibration and the all greatness of the religion beside the blind faith. Without that, and the understanding of the meanings of the religion, that was my alignment to become a Muslim. And my daughter is she's right now she's float. She asked me question about she's very interested on the understanding what the understanding I have for Islam, but she's just flirt. She's not Muslim yet. I don't know if she's gonna become. This is her process. I'm gonna help to her understand if in her heart this is come out, she will become Muslim. But she asked me great questions. I believe she's in the process. Maybe in future she can be Muslim and and have her with me and and can help her to discover her own truth, to maybe also walk in my path is amazing. It's a great opportunity.
No, but I mean, how does it affect you mentally? Before, when you were an American top team, you didn't have her. Now you
Uh
have her.
yes, this is also a process. When I was in American top team, I was by myself. I live me and myself, and she is living in Brazil. And oh, sorry, I did something wrong here. Okay. And actually, when I was in American top team, she's not born yet. I
Yeah.
was and I met her mother as soon as I left American top team, and I like have her in my life make me. I believe I became Muslim because one of those reasons is I I saw a pure love of I have with her, that, and also to I as at that time in America, talk, my life is a crazy, I'm a playboy also. I like hanging out and with the guys, and this is true. And after my work, I always do, parties and have a different relationship. But when she born, when I married her mother, and when she born, and my life started to be more with balance. One of those reasons also, I had so many bad decisions back on American Top Team was because I didn't have that balance. And when she born, I got a balance. I got the goal, make her proud of me. And I believe the process I became Muslim and to try to be better man, to be a model to her. And this understand me of trying to be a better man brought me to one of those reasons I became Muslim. I think so.
The reason I bring this up is the first time I interviewed him, he had this picture behind him, like a painting. And it was his daughter, and he brought her out, and we talked some at the end of the interview. He brought her, and so that's why I brought this up.
No, Benkei, I want to thank you again. We're gonna close because we've been going for almost 2 hours, and we could
Oh
probably
my God,
do
just
2 hours
pass so
more.
fast.
I consider this a very personal interview. You gave us a lot of insight, a lot of amazing things. You've had an amazing path in the MMA business and the MMA world. And, I want people to be on the lookout because I believe you have more to give, because like look, I'm going to tell you one of those things. It's like when I was younger and he was younger, you look at this guy without a shirt on, and you just think, "Holy shit!" It's a machine. And
Yeah.
so when he's talking about fitness and things like this, I believe we're talking about the elite of the elite with these guys that now every fighter has a nutritionist and a coach that
Yes,
teaches
yes,
this
yes.
stuff. But this guy is a pioneer in that world. And
Yeah,
he was
back
the
on time.
first of the elite guys. So I thank you very much for the interview. And I'm so grateful to have caught up with you again.
Thank you, my brother. It's a pleasure and honor to be here.
I'm going to
Great
cut it
seeing
off
you
here.
again, man.
Todd, thank you. And Benkei, thank you, sir.